Hey y'all, I'm back with another Legacy video, and in this video I'm going to be playing Dimir Tempo. Specifically, this is a list that I played this last weekend in the Saturday morning Legacy Challenge. At least it's Saturday morning for me in Texas. And this list has felt really good. There were a couple things I was targeting in trying to improve, matchups I was trying to improve, and then there was one change I've made since then that I'll talk about as well. So this list, I mean, it's pretty classic Dimir Tempo. I do really like Nethergoyf. I think this is one of the cards that's most contested right now and whether it belongs in the deck. And it can get outclassed by a lot of things for sure, but it has so much flexibility. It can be a efficient beater that's attacking for 3 or sometimes even 4 on turn 2. It can pivot and play defense and help a Tamiyo reach an ultimate. And it has a little bit of built-in card advantage in its escape ability as well. So I continue to like Nethergoyf. I think 3 feels like a good number. If I could find a way to squeeze in a 4th, I would consider it. But I know also some people have been doing things like Baleful Strix or Hymn to Turok and going a little bit bigger, Barrowgoyf in the main deck. I think those are all legitimate ways to go. In the main deck, I also have a copy of Snuff Out and a second Snuff Out in the sideboard. I have really been liking Snuff Out. It's so mana efficient so that you can keep, churning through Tamiyo clues in early turns or simply continue to develop while getting, the Eldrazi players' big 3 or 4 drop they played on turn 1 or 2 out of the way. So it's been really nice. I've been trying to improve specifically Eldrazi and Cradle Control that I've been seeing a lot of. And Snuff Out has been helping a lot with that, as well as Toxic Deluge. There have been so many boards that I've gotten to wipe, and especially in combination with the Goyfs that usually have pretty strong toughness and might be the biggest thing on the board. Toxic Deluge just feels so good. I'm trying to go pretty tall as well with 3 Murktide Regents so that if I do pair into Eldrazi, maybe my Murktide will just be bigger. And it's dodges their 1 bit of removal in Kozilek's command, though it is pretty bad in the face of the Wastegate Battle Mage that sometimes they do run 3 or 4 copies of. So those are tough matchups, but I think that's been helping a lot. In the challenge that I played, I got 2nd place, and I did lose to Cradle Control in the finals. But in the Swiss, I beat Eldrazi in round 1, and I beat Cradle Control in the final round to secure the top 8 position. Now, those cards were really good in those matchups, and overall the deck has felt sweet. I think that leagues have been a little tougher. I think that there's a lot of hero decks in leagues that are maybe built to beat Dimir Tempo or beat Tempo decks in general, I should say. So I haven't been feeling great about the league metagame, and at this exact moment, I don't feel like this is the best thing you could do in a Legacy League. But it still feels good, still has game against everything. I just haven't gotten a trophy in a little bit with it. The one change I did make from my 2nd place list is Surgical Extraction. I just went up 2 copies and I took out Null Rod. Null Rod hasn't felt great. I've been running into a lot of oops as well, so I just felt like that was a sensible change. And apart from that, it's the same list. It feels good. I've been really enjoying this deck. It's been a fun departure from my normal play style, but a very rewarding one and something that I will, definitely continue playing in the near future. Let's see how the league goes. All right, I'm on the play in the first round. Yeah, this is a keep. I hope to not get wastelanded, but I can definitely have a lot to say about how my opponent is going to play the game. All right, my opponent's on 7 as well, and they have a 61 card deck, so oops is definitely on the radar. I'm going to choose the Thoughtseize first, though obviously if I Thoughtseize and they wasteland me, that's pretty bad for me. But without seeing a wasteland, I think this is worth it. Uh-oh. Well, it's a pretty clear take here. It's Malevolent Rumble. This is going to be tough. Yeah, this is... I have been seeing a lot of land decks, so I guess I'm not surprised ultimately. I did speak about how the meta was a little rough for tempo players, and lands just doesn't really care about the axes that I'm trying to fight on too much. And especially with Loam already in hand, this is going to be a tough one. So they discard the maze. I don't think I'm supposed to daze this. It's a little tempting to go like daze and then wasteland, but they're gonna draw another land and then they have the Mox Diamond, so yeah, I definitely. Okay, they needle. That was their draw for turn. So their hand is just crop rotation. And they name Wasteland. Um, these cards are okay. Kaito is definitely a way I could win this game. So I won't need the Underground Sea. I'll play the Flooded Strand. And then this turn I could daze something if I need to. Okay, they have Saga right away. They can push one token. Yeah. And they're going to be pretty big. So I'll play the Wasteland, say go. I will get to Surveil. I think the Loam plus Saga with Needle and Wasteland is just pretty much game over. Okay, now this might actually be a daze, because if I daze this, they won't be able to make a construct. So here daze actually has a little bit of value. So I'll float a black and daze this. Of course they'll pay. Okay, that's a decent line as well. Just not worrying about the days. So their hand is crop rotation. And the Surveil land is just another land, not really worried about that. Okay, another push is good. If I Kaito and they have Lava Spur boots, I'm just in a lot of trouble to that. So I think I have to hold off a turn on Kaito. So no attacks. And then if I can double push this turn, I think that'll go a long way. Of course, now they have Thespian Stygian Dark Depths off of that loam. Yeah. Okay, boots. Maybe they go for the boots. I probably need to daze this loam again. And this one, I can't hard cast. I guess, so their hand is crop rotation. So this thing's going to live, but I don't want it to live through next turn. So I will return the island to my hand as opposed to hard cast the daze. And then I'll just have to fatal push here. And then on end step, I'll fatal push again. And then I can get Kaito down and maybe, just maybe, have a chance. Brainstorm could be good later. And because it's Brainstorm and because Orcish Bowmasters isn't good, that gives me yet another reason to pick up Orcish Bowmasters instead of the token so that I have a card in hand. I don't want the lands. Okay, Feed the Cycle is good if they go for constructs. And they mill over a couple wastelands, but the Boseiju names Wasteland. Or the Pithing Needle names Wasteland, excuse me. Okay, they get to Loam back and Dark Depths. So, looks like they are going to fast track the combo. So a blocker would be nice. Of course, they have crop rotation to give protection. All right, so the fetch land means I could brainstorm after zeroing the Kaito. Of course, I'm not crazy about another land. I'll start by going to combat. They will have the Merit Lage next turn, though, and attacking with Lava Spur Boots. So Force of Will for crop rotation, if I can also find a blocker, would be okay. They might be thinking about crop rotation now. Because, yeah, Thespian Stage makes Dark Depths. So I need to brainstorm in response to this. I guess Tamiyo will chump for a turn. But yeah, they got me on this. Yep. So Merit Lage will block Kaito. So I'll play my land out. Play Tamiyo, and I don't really have Surveil, so I can just get Nethergoyf down. So I'll have to block Tamiyo. Hope they don't get like Caracas or some other like Sajiri step of some kind, crop rotation. Oh, I got a tabernacle. Yeah, this game's pretty much over. Yeah, I mean, if I draw Brazen Borrower off the top, that'll be good. But I feel like they could probably rebuild a 2020 if they play right before I can kill them. Yep. Thankfully, I'm a little flooded, so a tabernacle isn't the worst. If I were them, I would probably bog. Okay, stage. Yep. So I have to block with Tamio to stay alive. And another Nethergoyf is not going to do it. So on to the next one. Yeah, this is a rough matchup, sort of a classical bad matchup. And lands is like one of the reasons to, or tempo being really well positioned is like one of the reasons to play lands. So I definitely want the forces. I'm happy to have the extra surgical for this. Don't think I want the bowmasters. Don't think I really want the dazes. Force of Will, not great. But Thoughtseize, I think, is even worse as a 4-of at least. In fact, I'll go up a couple Consign to Memories over these Thoughtseizes. I do think my best game plan is Kaito, because Kaito kind of dodges a lot of what they do. You have to worry about a needle on it, but it can handle, like, it can't Mezavith a Kaito, and it can keep up on value. Because that's the thing, they're just so likely to outvalue with a loam. And this deck wants to deny mana, and lands just has infinite mana. Right on the play. Um, sure. Yeah, I'll keep just good mana. Barrowgoyf will be good. Has nothing to say about their game plan, but I don't know, maybe they keep a hand that just goes for constructs and I can snuff them out. Regain the life with Barrowgoyf. Play Delta, say go. Yep. Exploration's good. Map. Okay, well, they can get a 2020 pretty soon. Brainstorm is nice. Suppose I'll play the Flooded so I can play off basics. Just put some lands back. Wasteland is nice. That can hold the Merit Lage combo hostage. All right, cracking the map. Making one of the land drops. Urza Saga, sure. And Malevolent Rumble, sure. And they found Dark Depths and a Loam. So bad. So I'll Surveil. I mean, this already feels unwinnable. Push, not important. I guess I could play a Goyf. Hope that they don't go for Merit Lage immediately. If I play without showing them Wasteland, I think it's more likely that they hold off on the Merit Lage. Of course, the constructs are going to be smaller than Barrowgoyf, so I have kind of incentivized them to just go for it. Okay, the Dredging Loam, Bog. Okay, that'll shrink my Goyf. Good card for them to have. But just a little bit, still a 4-5. Yeah, looks like they're going to make Merit Lage now. Sure. Or not. Alright, they're making Merit Lage. And boots. So I'm just super dead right now. Sure. Yep, that's rough. Good game. Alright, I'm on the play for the second round. His hand's alright, I'll keep it. Alright, opponent's on 7 as well. I guess I'll start off with a Thoughtseize again. It's tempting to hold off and try to Surveil, but I just want to play on curve. Alright. Oh no. Well, this is gonna be a rough one. I guess I'll take the Brainstorm because I don't know. They have a lot of lands. So if I don't get Wastelanded here, I'll be thankful for that. Sure, Thoughtseize is fine. Guessing they take Bowmaster. Yep. Well, I guess I get to Thoughtseize them again. Take Murktide. I'm not even gonna Wasteland them. I don't think I have the luxury. Sure. All right. Could just get cheesed out of this game by Wasteland. I guess I try to do that enough to people, so it is what it is. Alright, well now I'll Wasteland them. And I'll play another Wasteland. And they play their fetch land and pass. Alright, colored mana. Something. It's not the color I would prefer if I only had one, but could cast a Bowmaster now. Ooh, I guess it's Doomsday if they're cycling a Street Wraith. Brainstorm could be good, eventually. Alright, another land. Tamiyo. Well, things are lining up well if I do draw a land. Okay, my opponent keeps passing as well. Another Wasteland. I guess I'll Wasteland them. On Cycling Unearth, sure. So the only card I still know is Force of Will. They don't know about my Tamiyo and Brainstorm. Alright, this looks like they might be casting Doomsday. Sure, and it's backed by Force of Will. I guess I have to force it though. So now my best out is like they don't have an empty library when they cast Thassa's Oracle, which would be foolish since they know about Fatal Push. Well, Orcish Bowmasters, that's something. Definitely would have helped if I could have attacked with it this turn. I think the likelihood of them not passing the turn... Wow, they are passing the turn, it looks like. Well, I'll drop Bowmasters. Ping them to 6. Blue source. I guess I'll put them to 4. I probably should also cast this Brainstorm now. If they have to pass the turn again, I can actually get there. So I'll hide the Kaito. I don't think Wastelanding is going to be important. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe they need like Edge of Autumn or something like that. I'll Wasteland them. Alright, they're fetching. Maybe they just Thoughtseize me, but then they lose. Okay, they're Thoughtseizing me. So they can't draw a card. Oh, they just have it. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, against this build of Doomsday, I really don't like sideboarding pretty much at all. I think this is pretty much exactly where you want to be, so I'm just going to resubmit. On the draw, I might switch out of Force of Negation for a daze if I'm lucky enough to have a game 3. Alright, yeah, I'll keep this. This is also bad in the face of a Wasteland, but can at least play the game. Drop a Tamiyo turn 1. Alright, here's Tamiyo. Alright, my opponent starts with Ponder. Next turn I could Wasteland them and play Goyf. I could start drawing cards. They don't shuffle. Snuff Out's cool. If they have like a Tamiyo of their own, I think I will go with that plan. Because the sooner I can get their life total low, the better off I'll be. Like, it just reduces their ability to Doomsday. I just have to hope to not get Wastelanded this exact turn. Alright, my opponent took forever to pass the turn there, but here we are. So I'll attack here, pathetically just for 1 from the Goyf, but pretty nice to start accumulating clues. The basic swamp land drop is a sign of weakness though, so if they have a Wasteland, they might be tempted to pounce on it, and if I can't get another land, then I can't crack clues. So I'm not going to play around Bowmaster. I think it's more important to play around Daze if they have a big payoff. Okay, casting Ponder, and they've been Brainstorm. I do think they are looking for lands. And they fetch. Okay, they're going for it. Going for something. Dothy. Yeah, that's fine. Just a Dothy. Well, that annoyingly does beat Snuff Out, but there's the Fatal Push. And a land is perfect. I'll do this now. I don't have instant in my yard, so... And I'll make the same play as before. I will wait on cracking the clue. But I will fetch. I am going to fetch a basic. So I just don't want them to be able to, like, do something in response to me cracking the clue. This will also maybe make them think I have a Bowmaster. Well, that ended up being an excellent exchange. The Dark Ritual into Dothy, into immediately getting pushed. Couldn't ask for a better exchange. All right, they finally shuffle a ponder. And it looks like they're passing. Brainstorm, sure. I guess they were worried about brainstorming into a Bowmaster, so the fetch and holding up the 2 mana definitely paid off. And they knew they had no window. That was really the point, is when you have a fetch land that you need to crack in order to cast a spell or crack a clue, it gives people a window to do stuff. Okay, no land though, so I guess they're brainstorm locked, so this is boding pretty well. I can flip Tamiyo now. So I'll cast Ponder now because I don't have a sorcery. Bowmaster is fantastic. I guess I'll just put these down here and then hit them for 3. And I'll crack the clue, flip Tamiyo. And I decided to hold up the swamp because number 1, I can't get wastelanded out of being able to play around days. And number 2, I actually do have Fatal Push, so there's no point in bluffing a blue spell. Or I should say the downside of bluffing a blue spell is like taking me out of interaction I actually do have. All right, Dark Ritual again. Thoughts? Bummer. I mean, if they Doomsday, if that's what this is, if they Doomsday here, they go to 5. Nethergoyf can hit them to 3. Plus I have double Bowmaster. So they take the Bowmaster. Long goodbye, my Tamiyo. Sure. And playing Tamiyo. Well, I mean, I definitely want to push the Tamiyo. I suppose I don't really have to. I'll see if they chump with it. I won't blow a removal spell on a chump block situation. But I definitely will push it and prevent you from drawing cards. Okay, days, I'll pay for it. Okay. And I'll hold up my own Bowmaster. I guess they just wanted another look. Maybe that's why they dazed. And I'm going to put Lethal on board, past the Bowmaster. I won't fight to protect it, but if I can get it in there, cool. All right, so we'll get a game 3. So I will do the one thing I said, which is switch out 1 daze for 1 Force of Negation. I think they're more likely to Doomsday now that they are on the play. Yeah, this hand looks fine. Hopefully they have a fair plan. And they're keeping 6 cards. And starting with a Ponder, I will probably crack a fetch land and play Nethergoyf on my turn. I could also, if I draw a blue card, consider holding up Force of Negation played around days. That is one thing I've just found that has gotten me with this deck, is not playing around days for their big turn. Okay. Well, despite what I said, I'm going to fetch a dual land and play Nethergoyf. And the reason why I wanted to fetch there is so that a Bowmaster can't just kill it right away. Without the land in graveyard, it's a 0/1. Okay. Surveil the island in. So their mana, they're not hurting for mana that badly. Ooh, Kaito, very nice. I'll play the Delta, and then I will fetch a Surveil land right now. I will keep that on top. If I get Thoughtseize, then I can still Kaito. But the reason why I fetched that Surveil land was to maximize the damage on the Goyf. Now, if I get Wastelanded, I'll feel pretty bad. Okay, they're going for something here. Is it Doomsday? Paraguay. Yeah. That's fine. That's pretty rough. But I guess what I can do is... Okay, and then they brainstorm now. I can play land and attack with the Goyf. They block. I turns on my push. And then I'm closer to Murktide. If they don't block, I Kaito minus Tap down the Barrowboy. No blocks. All right, well, I'll definitely get the Kaito in then. My opponent played around push. Yeah, well, now I feel like I have a hope. If they have like Murktide, I'm in trouble. They might have long goodbye. They tapped black and then untapped. Okay, ponder, sure. Shuffle. Okay, Tamiyo. Well, I can push Tamiyo. I think they're very unlikely to chump with it, so I will go to block, or I will go to combat. All right, Force of Will is nice to see. Also, zeroing can get me close to Murktide. So I will Fatal Push first. Zero the Kaito. Bin lands. Get a Wasteland. So now I can actually go Wasteland and then push. I should have Wastelanded the Underground Sea. Push. Just so they know I did have a push last turn. And then play Netherwolf. Maybe I should have played around days with a Force. So this was a bit of an aggressive line. But I do have double Force held up. All right. Looks like I got here. Doomsday is a tricky one. I do think that when it comes down to the tempo version of the list, you saw I really didn't sideboard very much, and I think that's how you lose to it, is you sideboard for Doomsday, and then they come at you with these Barrowboys and Dothies. So yeah, I lost my train of thought there. I was talking with my opponent in the chat. GG's. Yeah, I think that you just have to be flexible with that deck, and the main deck of Dimir Tempo is already pretty flexible. So I like to think of it as almost a mirror match, except that my card quality is going to be better. And the way that they make up for that is if you overboard, and all of a sudden you have like a consigned memory when they have a Barrowboy. And I don't know, you can consign a Barrowboy trigger, but that's not very good. So just keep the card quality really strong, and it's going to do a lot for that matchup. All right, I'm on the draw. My opponent plays a whole bunch of oops all spells. I've been playing them a lot recently, always on oops. This is ridiculous. I'm going to keep this hand. This is where they like turn one Cabal therapy me. I mean, I would force it, pitch Brazen Borrower or Kaito or something. But they're on a multi 4. I really hope they just go for it and then concede. All right, land, please. All right. Well, they're going to know that I'm ridiculous. But you know what? Oops, all spells is ridiculous, so Force of Will. All right, got the land. I'll Thoughtseize them. Balustrade Spy. Cool. So they have nothing. I have Force of Will. I could Thoughtseize again, but I'll probably wait. Play Tamiyo instead. No play. Push. Not great. I think I can Thoughtseize again this turn. Take the Undercity. So they have Wild Canter that they can't cast. Alright, and they scoop it up. Hey, I kept a hand that was oops all spells too, and I got there. Oh my god. Such a cheesy deck. I mean, they had a pretty bad mull there, but it almost always has a really bad mull. Or at least quite frequently does, so yeah. So all the, combo hate in, snuff out, in the cycle, fatal push, out, Bowmasters. I'll take 2 Bowmasters out, and the swamp. All right, see if I can get another game against oops. Well, I've been served another no-lander. They keep 7. I'm going to keep 2 free spells. We're just all playing oops all spells over here. Cabal Therapy. I suppose I'm going to force this. Pitch, okay. All right, well, that's more interaction. Okay, they get Undercity Informer. And no play. So to me, that means they probably don't have a pact. Okay, sweet. That was an amazing draw. So I can Thoughtseize them. Okay. I guess it's the Narc Amoeba because the Poxwalkers could actually enter the game. So I think I'm about to win another game, keeping a no-lander versus Oops All Spells. I mean, they could just not go for it, I guess, but sure. So their hand is one unknown card. Let's see if it's Pact of Negation. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not Pact of Negation. They do have Memory's Journey. They have Dread Return. They have Thassa's Oracle. They do not have that cheesy card that that's like a giant of some kind and it can kill you as a secondary Thassa's Oracle target. Dread Return target, I should say. I guess it could be in their hand. If this was a really important match, like if I was trying to top 8 a tournament here, I would probably look at every single card here and like count the play sets. But I won't waste my own time. I'm just going to surgical Thassa's Oracle right now. They're liable to Memory's Journey in response. And then I force a negation, the Memory's Journey, and win. And I'll pitch the Brainstorm. Shouldn't really matter, but Daze is something I could do this turn if they somehow have something. All right, so they'll have no cards and library. Sweet. Wow. I didn't have any lands either game. And the Oops player had way more lands than me, as it turns out. But turns out my Oops All Spells deck was better this time. Put him on the play, match 4. Sure, keepable hand. I'll probably Thoughtseize first. Clear the way for Tamiyo through a removal spell, or if they are some sort of combo deck, just try to break it up. It's always tempting to just start with Tamiyo turn 1, but I personally like starting with Thoughtseize if I have to choose between those two. It helps to ensure that Tamiyo trades 2 for 1 or better, basically. Like if I don't Thoughtseize and I Tamiyo and they swords it, that's 1 for 1. But if I Thoughtseize their swords and then they have to force my Tamiyo or have no answer for it, then that just ended up being a better exchange. And I'm willing to do that at the slight tempo hit. My opponent is on 61. They could be lands, they could be oops, they could be goblins. Who knows? They did mold a 6. And I will follow through with turn 1 Thoughtseize. Oh, it's oops. Here we are again. Well, this hand has all the mana they could possibly ask for, so Undercity Informer is definitely the take, and now they just don't have action. So definitely a good choice there. If they drew a discard spell, or if they drew a Pact of Negation, I would have very easily lost that. So I guess Oops All Spells did pretty well in the Showcase Challenge and has been doing better in challenges recently, so that has more people, regrettably, picking up the deck. All right, they play a tapped land, pretty predictable. So they didn't draw anything spectacular. Ooh, I could flip Tamiyo right away. Minus and pick up Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'll probably do that. And then that means if they have a discard spell, I could pick up Force of Will as well. So that's just going to work out really well. All right, and I found the Daze, so that's even better. So I guess I will put Murktide Regent. Yeah, Murktide Regent on bottom, and then the Sewers. I'm sorry, I meant to put the Thoughtseize on top, but I really doubt they would Thoughtseize me and take Thoughtseize. So it should be fine, but I think that was a misplay. I wouldn't put Daze on the bottom or Force because I just want to be fully loaded for their upcoming main phase. They might also be incentivized now to play the other Boggart Trawler as Boggart Trawler to clear my graveyard. But that would probably play into Daze. Okay, they're playing the pedal out and a tapped. So they're not going to make the play that I mentioned. And it doesn't really make sense to... I could pick up Brainstorm, but without another black source, it doesn't make sense to -3 and pick up Thoughtseize. Instead, before I make any decision with Tamiyo, I will Thoughtseize. Ooh, they drew a Pact. Okay. So if I take the Pact, if they're just so good on mana, it's really just the Pact. I'll plus... And in fact, I wonder if they're even so good on mana that I could just play Tamiyo, give up on Daze. I'll keep the Murktide. I'll keep the Murktide because I might want to minus this. And I will keep the Tamiyo. It's a little greedy. I mean, I think the most likely scenario of this game is I get to ultimate this Tamiyo. All right. Action. Sure. Sure. They could play Elvish Spirit Guide, maybe. So now, since they seem to be using all of their mana on something, I guess they're playing one of those lands, but I guess there's one that's like an X spell or something. I don't know what they do. Suppose I should. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creatures that have a different mana value, X or less. Unfortunately played around Daze, but I do think that Daze will be pretty live going forward. So I will pitch the Tamiyo. So there's only one card that I couldn't beat next turn. If they top deck Reanimate, I'm in trouble. But I can Daze an Undercity Informer, and they can't draw Balustrade Spy and cast it. So I'll play the Murktide. I'll pay 3, and I'll keep the Force around. But it's really just the one draw that they could have. So hopefully they didn't draw it here. Appears that they're passing the turn and just conceding. Sure. All right, well, back at it again with Oops. So same as last time. All right, this hand is okay. Force of Negation really isn't that good. But I don't think I can mull it. My opponent did keep 7. Really have to hope it's like a slow hand. All right, they just have Undercity Informer. Sure. I can't Thoughtseize. I'll just Brainstorm in the event that they go for it. Comically, my opponent attacks for 2. All right, they're going for it. So I'll look at the yard. So I see 1 Cabal Therapy, 2 Cabal Therapies. I see 4 Pacts. So if I find a Surgical, I should be good. Force of Will would also be okay. Ooh, I found the Surgical. Let's go. So now I even have 3 layers of protection. So I Surgical now. They Memory's Journey. And then I Daze Memory's Journey. And I have Force of Negation for any other random stuff. Let's go. Good thing I put an extra Surgical in my deck before the league, right? All right, I also double checked. There's 4 Simian Spirit Guides in their graveyard, plus 2 Elvish Spirit Guides, plus 2 Elvish Spirit Guides in exile. So that means that Daze should counter this spell. It's tempting. They're thinking hard about their Memory's Journey. It's tempting to just put in the chat I have Daze and Force of Negation, but I won't. I feel like that will just induce Salt. All right, cast Daze. All right, yeah, they scoop it up. So 2 2-0 wins versus Oops All spells, including 2 no landers. It really, the worst thing you can be is a known Oops gamer, because then people can keep anything against you. This game was definitely a little lucky, brainstorming into the Surgical. If I had brainstormed into a Force as well, like I could have like Force of Willed the first, Cabal Therapy, and then if they brick on the second one, but that was really just a home run brainstorm. Right, I'm on the play. Match 5. Keepable hand, yeah. Probably fetch this Verdant, get a dual land and Thoughtseize. My opponent also kept 7. Just hoping for not oops all spells. I've played them enough. Alright. Some sort of Death and Taxes, or even like a human Stompy. It's gotta be Aether Vial here. Grand Abolisher, that's cool. Alright, my hand's pretty good against this. Next turn I can Bowmaster their Mother of Runes if that's what they do. Ooh, they top decked a Vial. That's annoying. Okay, I guess I'll Thoughtseize them again. Probably take the swords this time. Because this stuff... I just don't know how any of this beats a Murktide Regent, so I'll take the swords. And then I'll play a Delta, and I can Surveil. I could also push... I think I'm going to Surveil, though. And then I can still push next turn. I could push and Murktide next turn. Maybe not worry about the Mother of Runes. I don't know. Abolisher. Yeah, that's fine. I can activate the fetch land, so I don't need to do anything at this moment. And then they activate the vial right away for Mother of Runes. So I can actually handle both of these creatures if that's what I choose to do. I think they were still supposed to not vial there because the point of vial is to be able to do it like at instant speed, and I mean maybe they were playing around Stifle or something. I don't know. Another Thoughtseize is probably a little late. I do, however, think I want to just kill these things. Push, Bowmaster. And then this other thing, it's just like a grizzly bear at that point. If they have interaction, they could blow it on the Bowmaster. Push the Abolisher. Bowmaster the mom. And say go. Alright, another land. Alright, they play the Copper Coat. Sure. Ponder's good. Suppose I'll ponder first. Yeah, I think those are good cards. Flipping Tamiyo seems like a really good thing to do. So I will preserve that Brainstorm and just make the maximum sized Murktide. So it's gonna have to be a really good draw from my opponent. I mean, a single swords definitely puts them back in it, but they also don't have a great attack with even the Bowmasters in play. Another land. I'm guessing that was their card that they had in hand. Sure. I think this game is over. I maybe should have brainstormed with the Tamiyo pre-combat, because if I found... well, then I wouldn't have the mana up. So I'll play out Tamiyo. And I would have to pay 2 mana to keep them from drawing a card, which means I would have to crack the fetch land. I'll just hold off. And they're leaving the vial on 2, I've noticed. There's nothing I'm really afraid of at 2 mana. Of course, they can cast something uncounterably. Chop down. Ooh. Yeah, that's good. But they don't really have any attacks. In my brief foray into Arena many years ago, this card was in Standard, and I played Giant Killer. I had like a really bad brew that I played. So if I flip the Tamiyo, it's going to pretty much tap me out this turn. But if I can find a removal spell and get one of these, like this guy, off the board, that'd be nice. Do have to remember that as Ward 1. I just think with these creatures, they can't really push that much damage in a timely fashion. So I will pay, and I will resolve the brainstorm. I'll just put back the days and I guess the brainstorm. And then I'll play this land. I think I'll ponder next turn and just spend my mana, like especially this Esper Sentinel. Yeah. I don't know, it actually probably does spend my mana better now that I'm thinking about it to just go ahead and ponder now, because I've already paid this tax. I could draw like a Snuff Out. Force of Will, that's just a shuffle. Ooh, there's that Snuff Out. So I could snuff this thing out right now. Wow, what a good draw. And I'm fetching here because it gives the humans ward 1. Oh, it gives other humans ward 1. I should learn how to read a little better. Well, I'm at 8 life, but now neither of these things can attack the Tamiyo at all. So they need to draw stuff quickly. Well, guess that counts. No attacks on Tamiyo, I like that. Petty Theft, that's good. Just keep plussing. I can Petty Theft the Copper Coat, but then they could probably just vial it back in. Another Esper Sentinel, that's fine. I think they need to start attacking. Crack the clue. Murktide, excellent. They can tap it down, but play the Wasteland. If I Petty Theft this, they could chop down. So it doesn't do a lot, actually, to cast the Murktide, because they can just do it in the end step. Yeah. I won't bother. But I think Petty Theft is going to make this Tamiyo ultimate. Because I can block 2 of these things. Petty Theft the 3rd. And then there's only 1 attacking creature that gets through of my choice. What is this? Whenever equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it and tap up to 1. Okay. So I guess I let them equip. And then whatever they equip is what I Petty Theft. Maybe I should have Wastelanded. This costs 2 mana though, right? Yeah. So beginning of combat, I Petty Theft this thing. I can even pay the massive tax to prevent them from drawing cards. Petty Theft this. And then pay. And then they can flash it back in. But that means only 1. Okay, they don't even... Well, if you're not going to attack, then you're super going to lose this immediately. So I guess their plan is I'm going to be dead to their attacks somehow. But I'm going to draw my whole library, or half my library. I think I'm going to find a way. So whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell. So what if I only cast creature spells? Now, I only have 1 Bowmaster, that's annoying. Alright, so I think the plan is to start off by playing the Bowmaster, maybe play the Wasteland first, and then use that to pay for the tax. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. I could play the Murktide, and now they would actually have to tap this thing down. I could also kill this thing, and then this thing will be a 2/2, which will be important. So I'll start there. Just play Bowmaster. Ping this. Pay for the ward. Then I could... I could probably let them draw a card. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But I think I like just lining the board with things. I could even brainstorm with the Tamiyo, but I could also play a Kaito and tap down one of their things. Tap down this guy. I'll do that. Just cast Kaito. And they get to draw a card, but it's fine. Because that gives me Bowmaster triggers. Actually, I messed up. I was supposed to put both of these on this Copper Scout thing. So I'm messing up left and right here, but it's fine. Just minus here. And then I think I just need to hold back this 1 turn, and then I should be good. I have multiple planeswalkers they have to address. Now that I know how Esper Sentinel, Ward 1, and this card work, I can actually use that to my advantage with the double Bowmaster in play. And now I think it's time to do another Bowmaster. So I'll just start with that. Now I don't have to worry about that stupid tax. Pay for the Ward 1. And then I go to combat. I can even just kill this thing. Suppose I'll do that. I'll feed the cycle. It will have Ward 1. So I should actually play my land first. They can tap down my 4/4, but then they won't get to tap down Murktide. And I'll just remove lands, because those don't grow Murktide. And now I can attack. Suppose I'll just hold back the Bowmasters. Tameo to the bin, draw Murktide. Cast an enormous Murktide. 7/7. Another Cavern. They can have a super uncounterable creature here, but just gonna have to work miracles to stay alive. I think they're just trying to time me out by making me play, which is totally fine. I have done that so many times to people, so I don't begrudge anyone for trying to make someone time out. And I am super down on the clock, so definitely have to worry about that just a bit. All right, I like the board wipe. I would love to get a Toxic Deluge game on camera. I think I'll get rid of the Dazes. I would love to be able to force a Vial, but if I can't force Vial, then I probably can't force much of anything. I could probably also force removal. Bowmaster seems good. It held the fort down pretty well that game. I could also Wasteland a Cavern. I'll just get rid of a couple Thought Seizes. Alright, I'm on the draw. The mana situation is rough, but I'm definitely going to keep. I think one of these Ponders is very liable to find what I'm looking for. I will force the Vial, though. So that'll reduce my looks for land. Alright. Found it right away. So I'll Thoughtseize rather than Ponder. And I don't know if I have to worry about basics or not, but... Okay, a bunch of cards I don't know. Enchanted Permanent can attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Whenever this aura enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. So they all do the same thing. This one relies on them having a permanent, so this could be pretty easy to play around. I guess I'll just take a planar disruption. So they have no action. Barrowgoyf already a 5/6 on turn 1. It's crazy. Okay, they drew that equipment, so still no real action. Alright, I will ponder. Wouldn't mind seeing another Thoughtseize. Another land. Force of Will. Yeah, that's good, and I can Wasteland them. Sure. It could also just cast Barrowgoyf next turn, and then they would only get one of these. Neither of these have flash, right? Cloud. Search your library for an equipment, reveal it, put it onto your hand as long as Cloud is equipped. Okay, that's cool. Let's see what they get. Fails to find. And then I'll just push this thing in response. And then I think I do like Barrowgoyfing this turn. Yes, it plays into one of their removal spells, but provided they don't draw a land, they'll only get one crack at it. And the Sheltered by Ghosts involves them having a creature, so even if they draw a land, they only get one crack at it. So I'll just force that. So I do need this Barrowgoyf to hit something good, though, to keep the party going. Though any amount of time that they don't hit creatures, it's going to be good. 6/7. Let's go. Yes, I will use the ability. Oh my god, I bricked. Now it's a 7/8, though. So, I guess I'm going to Wasteland their Cavern. Play a Delta. Man, Barrowgoyf's not supposed to be able to brick. But now it would take like a Mother of Runes or something. Ooh, this victory is good. Yep. So I would love to see a removal spell. I would love to see just another good hit off of Barrowgoyf trigger. I mean, I don't think they're allowed to block it. Thoughtseize is also good. Yeah, I'll keep that. Let's see what they do here. Really want to see a Murktide. There's Murktide. So there will be 2 lethal attackers next turn. Just Thoughtseize them. Get rid of the Sheltered by Ghosts. Play maximum size Murktide. Just click these things until it enters the battlefield, basically. And I can F6. I think this is the game. All right, swords. But you're still dead. Yeah, I mean, you can block here. So they block, and then next turn I can play the Nethergoyf as well. Rather, I can play it this turn and attack with it next turn. Now, I do have to be careful about card types. I want to keep this thing at least a 6/7. So I see a redundant card type there, 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 and there. Yeah. Cool. So I guess I didn't have a creature, so the Nethergoyf is a little smaller. That's a good spot for Nethergoyf, right? Like, even in the late game, that helped to seal the victory there because it was card advantage. It was a card I was able to pick up just by itself with its escape. All right, a 4/1 feels pretty good. I can't say beating mono-white humans at the end is like a major triumph, but there were a lot of games against must-beat decks. So the victory I was most proud of in that league was the Doomsday matchup. I lost game 1, but was able to recover, and I really like the very light sideboarding, or even on the play no sideboarding. I think I've figured that matchup out. And then just beating the Oops players is kind of par for the course, but they can always choose a win. So it's really important to, have good mulligan decisions. And I don't know, I had really sketchy hands, but they were perfect for Oops, and I got there. It's really just lands. I've been seeing a lot of lands. If there's a lot of tempo decks around, lands is a great deck to play in that meta. But I'm wondering what I can do to improve that matchup. If you played Dimir Tempo or any other tempo deck and you've figured out a way to get over lands consistently, man, let me know. It's definitely something I would like to improve at because it is something I see a lot. And Sprouts, the lands player, just won the last showcase challenge, so you can expect lands will be a pretty common deck going forward. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.